What's up, everybody? XWeaverX. Today I have a video showing you guys how to upgrade your Steam storage capacity using a new NVMe drive. We are going to be using a 2 terabyte NVMe drive in our Steam Deck. I'm going to show you exactly how to open this bad boy up, how to install the NVMe drive, and how to repartition the drive to have SteamOS on it. With that being said, let's hop right over into the video. So first thing first is you are going to want to have a USB drive, thumb drive, that has at least 8 gigabytes, as you see here on Valve's Steam Deck Recovery here. And then we are going to head right over here. I'm going to link it in the description. You'll see it in the description, but we're going to come to this website here. It's the Steam website, and it's the Steam Deck Recovery instructions. This is what we're going to be using to repartition our SteamOS onto the new NVMe drive. So you're going to come to this website. You're going to click right here to download the recovery image. You're going to let that download. All right, guys, and once you have the recovery image downloaded, we're going to head over to the Rufus website. That's also linked down in the description below. And then, guys, once you're over here to the Rufus website, we're going to go ahead and scroll right down here. We're going to download the Rufus 4.1.exe. This might be a later release. If it is, you can go ahead and just download the latest release. For me, it's going to be the 4.1, and we're doing the standard for Windows 64. So you just click there to download that. All right, guys, and once we have both of those downloaded, we want to go on to the next step. But before we do that, I want to make sure you have your drive set in the FAT32 file system. So in order for us to do that, we're just going to come down here to File Explorer, click that, and then come over and find your drive here under your drives. Mine is right here. We're going to right click it. And then we're going to scroll down here to Format. Go ahead and click that. Then right here, your file system, you want to make sure that this does say FAT32, as this does work a lot better for the SteamOS recovery. If it's not, you can just click the little drop-down box and then select FAT32 accordingly. Go ahead. Right here, you can name whatever you want your drive to be called. I just named it NT for my Nuketown drive, just to find it easier in the list over here. But you can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And then you can also just make sure this quick format box is ticked. Hit start, that'll format into FAT32. And then once you have it in FAT32, we can proceed on to the next step. So from there, we're going to open up our Rufus application. It's going to pop up this little dialog box. Hit yes to allow it. And then from here, once we have this open, we're going to come here to device. Make sure you select your drive that we're using, because this is going to erase everything off the drive. So make sure you have the proper drive selected. And then this should say disk or ISO. It should default to disk or ISO. And if it doesn't, just click the drop down menu, come over here, click disk or ISO. And then from there, we're going to hit the select box here. You're going to go over to your downloads and then click the Steam Deck recovery image. And then this part is very important. Make sure you tick the box that says list USB hard drives. This is going to change the partition scheme to the master boot record here, as well as target system to BIOS. And then everything else, just leave as is. You're going to come down here. It's going to say ready. We're going to click start. This is going to pop up a dialog telling you that this is going to destroy all data on this device. So please make sure you do have the select drive selected, and then click OK. All right, guys, and this is going to write the SteamOS image for us that we need. This can take up to 30 minutes, so just please be patient, and I will show you exactly what this looks like when it's done. All right, guys, and then from here, we are going to take our Steam Deck, and first thing first is we are going to power this down. You want to shut it down all the way. While this is shutting down, this is my atomic purple translucent shell swap I just did. I'm going to be making a video about this. It's absolutely beautiful. Turned out so nice, as you see. We'll do a separate video about that if you're interested. I will link that down in the description once I have it, and you can check it out. All right, guys, now it's fully powered off here. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to turn it over, and there are going to be a total of 8 screws here. 4, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 4 on the outside here, and then we got 4 on the inside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Phillips head. I'll throw it up on screen right now what size Phillips heads you need to do this. We're going to start with the inner ones here. Do make sure you be very careful with these screws as you can strip them very easily. Do keep that in mind. And we are going to just, we're going to take these out. We're going to set them aside. I have a little magnetic tray. And I wrote down what screws go where. Just make sure you remember what screws go where. All right, guys, we have all 8 screws removed on the back here. Like I said, there's 4 on the inner side and then 4 on the outside here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, then from here, we're going to pop off our back shell. A guitar pick or pick works really well, or if you have a spudger tool, that would work as well. I'm just going to start right over here on the edge. I'm going to use my pick and go down. Once you get the first clip unbuckled here, the rest of them kind of come off a lot easier. We're just going to go all the way around. Be gentle when you're pulling on it. And it'll just come right off. Want to make sure you're really careful. You don't want to break these clips either. So don't put too much pressure on it. All right, as you see, we have our Steam Deck shell off. Now that we have that, we're going to set that off to the side as well. All right, and then we're going to come down here. First things first is make sure you are grounded. Touch any metal around you. You do not want to short circuit anything in this board, so make sure you are grounded. Now that you're grounded, we're going to take this little shield here, and we're going to peel this back. I just use my finger now. Try not to damage it, though. You don't want to rip it or anything. Just want to get it enough to where you can peel it back. All right, I'm going to set this to the side. You can just leave it on if you're able to just leave it on to peel it back to where you can reveal the screw. I actually ended up peeling it off, but we're just going to set it to the side. No biggie. All right, and then from here, we're going to go ahead. We're going to unscrew this screw right here. All right, we're going to set the screw to the side. All right, guys, so once we remove this screw here, we're going to have 2 more screws to remove. It's going to be top left here and then the bottom left. And you'll also see a little arrow pointing to the screw there. You'll see it. It's going to be right here. There's little arrows pointing to it, and there's a little arrow pointing to the one down here. So we're going to remove both of those screws. We're going to set both these screws to the side. All right, guys, now we have all 3 screws removed here, up here, and right here. So once you guys have all 3 screws removed, then we're just going to take this metal shield off here. This will just lift up, just like so. That's going to reveal the motherboard, the NVMe, as well as the battery. So we're just going to set this off to the side. All right, and then from here, guys, once we remove the metal shield, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery here. The battery is right here. It's got this little black pull tab. However, I do not recommend using this black pull tab. What you should do is take your fingernail, and on the edge here, you can kind of just get your fingernail in the little plastic black part there and just slightly wiggle it back and forth. So I'm going to wiggle it out, and then you can use the black pull tab and pull up once you got it out enough. All right, so as you see, we have our battery disconnected now. And once we have that disconnected, our NVMe is right here at the bottom. So now all we want to do, there is 1 screw holding this in place. We're going to go ahead and take this screw out. We're going to set the screw to the side. And then our NVMe is going to pop up at an angle here. We're going to go ahead and just pull it out, just like so. Now what we do want to do is we want to take this heat shield off the old NVMe and put it on our new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this out of here. I'm going to grab the back bracket part where the screw goes. And I'm just going to grab this and pull this sticker off here. The shield, just like so. All right, we have our little shield off. Okay. We're going to set the old NVMe. This is a 512 that we had for this model. We're going to set this to the side. Then we are going to grab our new drive. We have our 2 terabyte drive right here. And then we're going to go ahead and take our heat shield and we're going to slide our new drive right back into it. And we're going to use the 2 prongs here on the heat shield. As you see, we're going to have that on the back side. That's going to be on the back side of the NVMe. All right, guys, we're going to take our heat shield and we're going to apply it onto our new NVMe. Once it's said and done, it should look like this. This is the top part of the NVMe. And then this is the bottom. So you want the little slit to be on the bottom, right? And then the 2 little lips to be lined up at the end here. So this is the top of the NVMe, like I said. So this is how you so this is how you want to have your heat shield here. Okay, and then from there, all we're gonna do, it's just like a regular computer. We're just gonna come in at an angle from the top, kind of like a 90-degree angle. Slowly slot it in, and then we're gonna push down on it. We're gonna take our SSD screw, and we're just gonna screw this right back in place. All right, now that that's in place, remember not to over tighten the screws, as you do not want to strip these screws. So our NVMe is in place now. So next step is we're going to plug our battery back in. Then we're just going to use our fingernail to go ahead and get this evenly put all the way in, using a little black plastic on the end here. Use your fingernail, push it all the way in. You'll see the LED light up. All right, now that we have that plugged in, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to put our shield back on. All right, now that we have our shield on, we're going to just reapply these screws. Remember, the bigger screw is the one that goes in the center here compared to the other 2 screws. The other 2 screws are smaller. So if you did happen to get them mixed up, just remember the big screw is the one that goes in the middle there. All right, now we have all 3 screws in. We're going to take our little shield here. We're going to place this over this, just like so. All right, so now we have that back in place. So everything is plugged in. We have our new NVMe. We have our heat shield back on. We have our little foil over it. So from here, we can take our back plate. Make sure you don't have any screws or anything loose laying around in here. Don't want to short circuit anything. All right, we can take our back plate. We can snap this back on. It'll just snap all the way around. Just like so. Reinstall the screws. All right, guys, now we have all of our screws in. Now from here, we're going to take our bootloader that we made. We're going to plug it into a USB hub. If you do have a USB-C drive that you're using that you made your bootloader, you can just plug it straight into the deck. I'm using a regular USB-A bootloader drive here. So we plug it into our hub. And this is a USB-C hub. And we're going to go ahead and plug this in. And then from here, we're going to hold the volume minus button. Hold that and then click the power button. Continue holding the volume minus. All right, and then you'll see the Steam logo. You can let go of the volume minus as soon as you see the Steam logo. And then this should show your boot drive right here. It's going to be the USB device. So we're going to want to go to that. We're going to click the USB, use A to confirm. That's going to show the Steam logo again. And then from here, we're just going to wait for it to load up the desktop environment. All right, guys, now this is loaded. Do keep in mind this can take up to like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. It just depends. Mine took about 15 minutes for it to pop up. Just be very patient. All right, as you see, this is what we want on the screen. This is the desktop environment. We're going to go over to the re-image Steam Deck. That's the one that we want. So to do this, all you have to do is use your touchpad here. And we're going to use our touchpad to scroll over to it. And then we're just going to click the right trigger. And just click the right trigger one time, the R2 button here. Okay, now it's going to do its thing here. It's going to pop up a message here in a sec. All right, it's opening up a terminal window here. It's going to ask us, are we sure? Because this is going to erase everything on the drive, which we've already done. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to click proceed here. Use your touchpad, scroll over, hit R2 one time on proceed. All right, now this is going to install the whole SteamOS onto our NVMe drive. Just make sure you just leave this alone. Don't touch anything. Let it do its thing. And then we'll come right back once this is done. All right, guys. And now that this is done, it's going to pop up saying re-imaging complete. As you see here, we're just going to go ahead and click proceed. Then just use your little touchpad, scroll over, hit the R2 button one time to hit proceed. And then this should reboot us right back up into SteamOS. All right, we have the Steam logo splash screen. All right, this is going to set us up through the whole Steam Deck process. So you just go through like normal. Notice the sign there was an update error. Error has occurred during the update process. Please try again. I'm just going to hit the Steam button. Hit setup. All right. It says this is installing. We're going to let it do its thing. All right, guys, if you run into this issue where it's saying installing and then it gets down to the last second and then restarts the installation, we're going to go ahead and fix that right now. If you do get into that issue, all we're going to do, we're going to hold the power button and we're going to hold it until we have the LED light pop up. It should be about 10 seconds. All right, we see the LED light up. We go ahead and unplug our drive here. We don't need this plugged in anymore. All right, then we're just going to power it on normally. Click the power button one time. All right, now we got the Steam logo. We got Steam and it says extracting package at the bottom. Update complete, launching Steam. All right, and then we're going to go through the installation process. Right now it says installing. As you guys see, there is an installation rate at the bottom there. That is what we want to see. This means that this is actually installing, where before we were just in a boot loop. But if you see the installation rate there at the bottom, you know that this is the right way in which we want. So from here, we're just going to set this back down. And we're going to let it finish updating or installing rather. And then we'll come right back once this is finished. All right, guys, as you see now, it is shutting down Steam. That's what we want. Now it is rebooting. Extracting package. And it says installing update as well. Update complete, launching Steam. All right, then from here, we're just going to sign in with our Steam account. And as you see, we are now successfully on our Steam Deck and we have the 2 terabyte drive installed. That's all there is to it. And that's all there is to it, guys. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. I do apologize that my first half of the video was not zoomed in like it needed to be. I actually forgot to hit my full screen view while recording and realized it in the later half of the video. So that's why that's set up like that. But I hope you guys were able to use this video to upgrade your Steam Deck capacity storage. And I hope it was helpful to you. Please consider leaving a like and a sub if this was helpful to you. And we will catch you on the next video. As always, peace and prosper. Much love. We'll be seeing you. Late.